I hear extremely depressing things all day. I'm a psychiatrist. And if I'm depressed, it's very difficult for me to help my patients, at least if I want to do anything more than prescribe medication. I'd feel like a hypocrite if I was trying to encourage my patients how to engage in behaviors and thoughts that made them happy if I wasn't doing these things myself. So here's what I do. First thing in the morning, I get up and I get out my journal, and then I spend some time in prayer and meditation. In my journal, I write down things that I think that I need to do, ideas that come to me. Then I eat some protein. Usually it's salmon, maybe a protein shake. Usually it's at least 16 grams of protein. I also drink a pretty decent amount of water, what would be the equivalent of several cups. Then I run. Sometimes I run a mile, sometimes I run 3 miles. Occasionally I don't run at all. Maybe I'll bike or I'll do burpees or something like this. But usually I run. Then I'll go to the punching bag and I'll hit it hundreds of times and kick it. Then I spend time lifting weights. Usually I'll alternate between legs and chest and arms and back. Then I'll do some kind of ab workout. I do all this really quickly because I don't really have a lot of time. Usually I just have somewhere between 30 to 60 minutes to get all of this done. So I'll be running from one activity to the next. Once I'm done working out, I run upstairs and I take a shower. At the end of the shower, I turn the water down to cold as it'll go. And then I smile really, really big and I stick my arms up in the air and I'll act as if I'm celebrating, like I just won a victory. And I'll say extremely positive things, silly things, as positive as I can say, while being hit by the cold water. Then I go out and I greet my children for the morning and give them hugs and kisses, as well as my wife. I tell them all that I love them and I wish them a good day at school. If I have more time, I'll talk to them for a while before they go to school. Oftentimes, I'm out of time at this point, and I will go back to my room and get ready for work. Between patients, I will write in my journal the details of what happened the day before, or thoughts or things that I'm struggling with. And then once I'm done with that, any moments between patients, I'll work on a book or a project. Right now, the project I'm working on is I'm putting together a seminar for people with ADHD. Throughout the day, I'll eat some kind of protein, or usually it's like a mixture of nuts, and I put some fruit in there and mixed it in. It's just some kind of fruit I got from Amazon that I like the flavor of. Raisins, apricots, peaches, that sort of thing. And I'll snack on that pretty much all day. I mostly avoid sugars and simple carbohydrates, and I try to finish off a couple of these in a day as well. I guess I forgot to mention, while I exercise, I usually listen to something inspiring or spiritual or religious that uplifts me. And then I spend the majority of my day listening to people who are struggling. Sometimes it's very difficult to get through the day. Sometimes it's very encouraging and exciting to get through the day because I feel as if I'm helping people. Sometimes I feel very sad because I can't help people despite giving them everything that I have. Usually what my methodology for helping my patients is I encourage thoughts and behaviors and techniques for being happy, similar to the ones that I use. There are some conditions for which medication is indicated, such as like schizophrenia and bipolar disorder. I use that as a first-line treatment in those conditions or similar conditions. And when cognitive behavioral therapy doesn't work, I use medication if it's serious enough that the person's life is in danger. I document as I go. Sometimes a patient won't show up, and during that time, maybe I'll make a video like this one that I'm making right now. The patient didn't show up. If I get chances through the day, I'll go out and say hello to my wife and my 2 little ones that are still at home that are not at school. I have 7 children, so they keep me pretty busy. After work, I'll usually start cleaning the house, doing the dishes, doing something that I can to help. Then the kids get home and I try to spend time with my children. Then my wife usually makes dinner. Sometimes I'll make it. Then we have dinner as a family. Then the kids will usually do their chores. And then we have some kind of spiritual meeting as a family, which I try to make uplifting. Sometimes the order gets a little messed up. Sometimes right now a family's in a play, and so we'll go to play practice. Someone there we may also play some games or do something fun as a family. Then after that, I get home and I put the kids to bed. And with my wife, I used to do jujitsu at night, and on those days my wife would put the kids to bed. Sometimes my wife would have some activity with her friends, and on those days I'd put the kids to bed. Sometimes in there somewhere I'll have church responsibilities. I forgot to mention there's usually lots of driving kids to sports. I have kids in wrestling or football or track or basketball or cheerleading or gymnastics or dance. And with 7 kids, that often equates to quite a bit of driving, which occupies a lot of the day often. Occasionally, I'll meet with my parents for a little while who live just down the street. When all this stuff is done, then after I put the kids to bed, I spend some time with my wife, and then I go to sleep and repeat. On the weekends, I try to do something fun with the kids after we've cleaned the house for a while. Last week, we went to an arcade and played arcade games. A lot of times, we'll just play games at home or go and visit another grandparent. So that's my life. I encourage working towards goals, spending time with people, staying physically active, exercising, and trying to avoid unhealthy foods. Stay busy and don't be alone. Engage yourself in lots of activities.